Hello, everybody. I'm Brooke McCormick, and I am joined today by a very special guest, TellTale Atheist, who I am very, very honored to have back on my channel. He had been on here once before for an interview. So thank you, TellTale, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, I was walking by the Union today, and some JW, or not today, but yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of the days. It's going to be a long week for me, and it's already been one. So, but they were handing out some flyer brochures. So, yeah, I got into an interesting conversation on that. Ended up, I finally got fed up with them, and I asked them. They're like, "Oh, well, evildoers will go to hell." And I asked them if pedophilia was considered evil, and they said the act was. And I finally had enough, and I said, "So why are you part of an organization that does this?"
That's
So I
ridiculous, man.
I finally just had it with them because they were like dodging and they were like, well, you find yourself to be your own God because you give yourself your own destiny and purpose.
Of course,
Yeah,
yeah,
I give myself my own quote unquote destiny and purpose, but I don't view myself as a God. I'm far from it.
right. They're
Like, let's
just
see,
looking
let's
for
see.
a way to demonize you.
Life, create. Yeah, not God. Uh, so hello everyone in the chat, and yeah, so we got student's dilemma first, then we have how did life begin? Is any form of life really simple? Where did the instructions come from? Has all life descended from a common ancestor? And is it reasonable to believe the Bible? Is there any particular one you want to start off with? I mean, you know the JW is better than I do.
Yeah, can you give me the first three of them one more time?
Yeah, how did life begin is the first title of the section. Um, is any form of life really simple? Is the question two. Question three would be where did the instructions come from?
Got you. Okay. So I actually, a while back, they did this book. I mean, I'm talking decades ago now.
Yeah,
I think it's called How Did Life Get Here by Evolution or by Creation? And I could be wrong. I think it's from like the 80s, and they misquoted Richard Dawkins and all kinds of interesting stuff in that. But they made a bunch of claims about DNA and stuff. And that's what I'm thinking when I hear number three. But I'll tell you what, why don't we just start with number one and
okay.
see what it has
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, I was going to read the student's dilemma, so that's kind of what the introduction on it is, if that's okay.
Right.
You want to
Yeah,
start
yeah.
there?
Yeah, and by the way, do you think that you can post a link to this to me uh,
Uh,
so that I can post it in other places?
yeah, here. Yeah, let me get that up real quick.
Thanks. Sorry to derail.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I understand. It's uh, I sent the link to someone, so I gotta go dig that link out. There, mute. See, it's in the side chat thing for us.
Got you. Okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
yeah. So yeah, you can post it.
Perfect.
Yeah, that should work. So yeah, the student's dilemma. We'll just kind of read through that little scenario. I don't think we need to go through the whole thing. Basically, it talks about what they're going to talk about, but the dilemma is kind of the overall thing. For what I've seen of the few things I've gotten from them. It says Peter shifts uneasily in his chair, a knot forming in his stomach. His teacher, a woman he respects. Well, there we go. We got a problem there. That's against the Bible. Sorry,
Right.
sorry. That was.
It's funny.
We all know women are second class citizens. Oh wait, crap. That means oh wait, I'm lower than second class citizen because I'm trans. Never mind. I'm
Right.
good. He just finished describing how Charles Darwin, in his theory of evolution, advanced scientific understanding and liberated mankind from superstitious beliefs. No, no. I'm trying to remain calm and nice here.
Welcome to
But
my world. This is
no,
me 24/7.
yes, no, I understand it. You have a little. I really feel for you because of you growing up in this, but it's like evolution free us from superstitious beliefs. I know people who think God basically kind of here's first life form. Go. That's it.
Right.
And that's still a superstitious belief. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Jehovah's Witnesses are super superstitious. I mean, they're really
yeah,
superstitious, as it turns out. I mean, they won't admit it, but they are.
yeah. No, they are right on one thing. It has advanced their scientific understanding. They are right there. So I'll give them that.
Right.
They do get the point there, but they lose a lot of points for that last bit. But it goes, now she has invited her students to express their opinions on the topic. Okay, that seems reasonable enough. As someone who's going to be a teacher, that's something you would do. Here's what we understand. Now let's have a discussion about it. All right, seems reasonable. Peter faces a dilemma. His parents have taught him that God created the earth and all life on it. They say the Bible's account of creation is trustworthy and that evolution is simply a theory.
That makes you cringe, doesn't it? Hearing somebody say that.
Again, I've said this. If gravity's a theory, I'll take you in a plane about 20,000 feet up and I'll kick you out the door without a parachute.
Right. Same with the germ theory of disease.
Yeah,
People just
exactly.
don't want to
Which,
accept
again,
this stuff.
remember, Jesus said germs don't exist because it's sin that makes you sick, not germs.
Right.
You don't need to wash your hands. One not supported by the evidence. Again, it is. That's what a theory is. It's a well substantiated scientific idea that has a lot of evidence behind it. And anyone who knows the actual definition of scientific theory, go ahead, kill me over it. I don't care. It's close enough.
Yeah, that's pretty close, actually.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's close enough to get what we're trying to say.
Right.
It says Peter's teacher and his parents all mean well, but whom should Peter believe? Let's see. What are the evidence points? AKA science. So yeah. So
It's really hard to get through this stuff sometimes because it's like it just makes you cringe so hard.
Yeah,
you know?
I did one a while back, which I never got through the other 5 questions. I think with me and Nacha Witness only made it through one of these where it was like 10 questions people ask.
Right.
And we went through it and I read it because I like having, former J-Dubs on,
Sure.
like you or Nacho, if I'm going to do this, because I don't want to actually make a point that I know from what a lot of Christians I know believe or what I've heard, and then straw man JWs.
Sure, yeah.
Because if I wouldn't have even known this, I would have probably straw manned them with hell. And apparently J-Dubs don't believe in hell. So that was...
Right, that's something you got to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah, so it was something that I was like, oh, well, so I don't want to accidentally make an argument against them that is a straw man by accident. I never want to straw man anyone.
Yeah, I do that sometimes inadvertently. Like I talk about a lot of different religions. It's not just Jehovah's Witnesses. And sometimes I just, I didn't grow up Mormon and I just don't understand their culture. And, so it's really hard to get it right. I think it's forgivable as long as you put out a correction for, the big important stuff, then it's forgivable. But I am glad to be here talking about it. I freaking love talking about this stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my light on my
room
I
saw on that.
Climate sensor, so I had to kind of go, hey, come on, light, wake up. It's so that way, like if you have your light on, you fall asleep. It doesn't.
That's a good idea, man. I should get mine hooked up like that.
Yeah. So it has like I think like maybe a 5 or 10 minute sensor. If it doesn't sense any movement, then it will shut off.
Turns it off.
So
that's pretty
it's a good idea, but when you're doing something like this, sometimes it can kind of get in the way.
Yeah, I'd like to get like one of those Apple HomeKit things or like one of the Android HomeKit things. You can turn it off from your phone. That'd be convenient.
Yeah. The next question that we have is, how did life begin? Okay. It says, when you were a child, did you ever startle your parents by asking, where do babies come from? If so, how did they respond? Depending on your age and their personality, your parents might have ignored the question or given you a hurried, embarrassed answer. Well, when a mommy and daddy love each other very much, the mommy makes the daddy happy, and not appropriate for you two from there on.
That is rough, man. Yeah. I feel like I've read this this magazine at some point. I remember reading this at some point. What is it?
Doesn't have a date on it that I'm seeing.
feel like it's probably at least a year old. What was the name of it again exactly?
The Origin of Life, 5 questions worth asking.
Right, 5 questions worth that. Okay.
This
So
is what the cover looks like.
right. So I remember at some point I've read this and I was talking to somebody about this and telling
Yeah.
them that my daughter Kylie, when she turned, I don't know, like 5 or something, she was asking questions like this,
Yeah.
And it's really hard to answer these questions sometimes because it's like, do you give them all the
Yeah.
information? I mean, they're little, what do you do? So what I did was I said, you know how when you want to plant a tree, you drop a seed in the ground and you pour water on it and then it grows into a tree, right? And she was
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, okay, well, with people, it works the same way, except the mom has the seed and the dad puts the water on it, and then a human grows, basically, is how it works. Of course, that's a simplistic way of looking at it,
Yeah.
but it's really hard to know what to do because you know what I got when I was that age? I got nothing up until the
Yeah.
moment they were telling me touching yourself makes you gay. I mean, the really bad, like Jehovah's
Yeah.
Witness propaganda stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking of the whole tight pants debacle that they had a
Oh,
while
yeah.
back. I think I
Yeah.
saw that on your channel. I think it's where I heard that one from.
Yeah. John Cedar's channel talks about that a lot too. It's
Yeah.
so weird, man. Like they've got
Yeah.
such a weird, warped view of
Yeah.
sexuality,
Yeah. I can just imagine what they would say if I walked into a Kingdom Hall
Oh
meeting.
my God.
I would have fun. I would do it just to have fun
Right.
with them. Just to screw with them.
Yes, it would be awesome. One of these days you should, just for the hell of
Yeah.
it.
Well, there is a Kingdom Hall here in Manhattan.
Have you ever been to it?
Have I what?
Have you been to it before?
No, I only know of it because I actually was shortly after I started watching you, and and then I just kind of looked out the window as I was on a bus because it was a set route. I
Yeah.
don't even remember exactly where it is, but I saw it just out
Somewhere
of the window.
nearby
I'm
at
like,
least.
oh, okay,
Right.
that's cool. We got a Kingdom Hall here. Great.
Yeah, they've got them freaking everywhere, man. It is interesting. Like, I'd like to go to a Catholic mass, for example. Never been to that before.
Yeah, I went to one actually just recently. Just to go. I had a friend invite me,
Just
and
for the
I'm
hell
like,
of it, yeah.
sure, I'll go. I mean, I'll go and observe, and not do.
How was it?
About
Weird
what I
or
expected.
really?
It was kind of weird because it was a lot of kneeling and standing and sitting, and
Right.
that didn't surprise me though because I do have a friend who's Catholic and he always jokes that on Sunday when he goes to mass, he says he doesn't say he's going to mass. He says he's going to Sunday calisthenics. So I
Right.
knew that was coming.
Okay.
Some of the Latin phrases where they just like know it, and it's just like I'm sitting there like, okay.
Right.
Some issues with just some of the things the priest said, I didn't agree with theologically. I wouldn't have even agreed theologically when I was a Christian.
Right.
But some of the things he said, I was like, okay, well,
Do you have an example?
I not off the top of my head. It wasn't like a super big thing.
It was just a couple little things here and there.
Yeah, it was like some of those is like I don't think that's right.
Right.
Oh, one of them was that the Old Testament isn't to be followed. And no, it is. And obviously, I would disagree with that one. So I was brought up very fundamentalist Christian.
Right. So. Okay. So you were saying that you believed that the Old Testament should have been
today. I would say it still should be, based on what Jesus said. As he said, "No letter of the law shall pass until upon my return." And unless he's returned within the past 2,000 years,
why would that be undone? Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Very interesting. What version of Christianity were you again? What denomination?
I was brought up Lutheran, which is Catholic light, but I went to a Southern Baptist church more.
Okay.
Although I was kind of a heretic even in that religion, because I was after I would think I hit high school, I kind of was an annihilationist. So that was something there.
Right.
I think of Southern Baptist, annihilation and Southern Baptist usually don't go hand in hand.
Right. That's really interesting stuff, man.
Yeah. So I was originally going to go to school for seminary for Southern Baptist.
Right. So what was it that stopped you? I'm sorry, I'm asking a bunch of questions.
Oh, no, you're fine. I don't mind talking about this.
Okay.
I'm open about it. I read the Bible. I was studying to go to seminary. I had a check written, ready to be mailed out with an application to that college. And at that point, a friend challenged me. I'm like, you know what? I'll wait to mail that, in case for whatever reason I do change my
Sure.
mind.
Just let things
I
play
do
out.
leave the faith. I was like, I'm never going to leave it. I could easily mail it and I'll be going there when I get in. That was
Right.
not a question for me. And yeah, I became an atheist from that.
Aren't you
And
glad you didn't mail the check?
yeah, it saved me $35.
Jeez,
It's like
that's awesome.
40 bucks. So yeah,
That is awesome.
so save me money
Yeah.
because I had it in an envelope with a stamp on it, ready to be mailed out.
Yeah.
I just kept it. Never sent the check.
That's something like a lot of people that's a common experience I've noticed. Like I was fully invested. Like a lot of opponents of ours are trying to say, well, you just didn't live God's word. You didn't really believe it in your heart. But we were invested. You were completely invested in that,
I was ready to go to seminary.
Yeah.
I don't think you're really more invested than that,
Right.
except for maybe going all the way through seminary.
Yep.
And the funny thing was, if you asked me why I wanted to be a minister, it was never to lead people to God. It was because I wanted to help people.
Right.
And as anybody watching my channel knows, I had some things happen to me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Not good things.
Right.
So I had a family friend who their father was a minister. He's actually my former pastor. And he helped me through a lot of that. So I just wanted to help people when I got older. And to me, I saw ministry as the best way to help people.
Come to find out, right?
I'm going to be a teacher, so I'm going to be helping people even more.
Right. Very
nice. Help more people that way.
That's exactly right. And objectively help people. I mean, it's not up in the air. It's not a question. Does this help or not? Being a teacher actually does legitimately help people. So that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. I want to teach if I could teach at the college level and just teach American Revolution, that would be my dream job.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I love the American Revolution. That's my favorite time period in history.
Right.
But yeah, I guess I think we might have sidetracked a little bit too much.
Oh no, it's fine. Interesting conversation. We can continue though.
Yeah, since this was what people came to see, I guess we could.
Exactly.
Not my life story, but this.
Right.
I was having fun laughing at J Dubs. Embarrassed answer. Or perhaps they told you some fanciful tales that you later found to be false. Of course, if a child is to be properly prepared for adulthood and marriage, he or she eventually needs to learn about the wonders of sexual reproduction. Yeah, and then why?
Yeah, see, here's the interesting thing about them, okay? Yeah. There's this discrepancy between how Jehovah's Witnesses view what should be told to a child about sexuality and what everybody else, or more accurately, what science says a child should know about it. Like, there's a fine line there between what is too violent for a kid to see and and what's acceptable. What is too sexual for a kid to see and what's acceptable. And Jehovah's Witnesses have proven at every turn, especially with their Bible story book, that they have no concept of that line of too far with violence, especially. I mean, the old Bible story book, I'm thinking the one from 1978 through 2000 something, the one that I grew up with, has nothing but violent picture after violent picture, like traumatizing, nightmare-inducing pictures.
Yeah.
And it's the same with sexuality. I would not trust Jehovah's Witnesses to know what a child should be told or explained to about sexuality, especially because they told me things like touching yourself will turn you gay, especially from their book from the 70s that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I know there were times there were quite a few guys when growing up, I was like more or less had crushes on, but I also had crushes on girls, and I didn't know, and I was always told, no, guys like girls. That's it.
Right.
Being gay is wrong. Da, da, da. So I always had to repress how I felt. Right. I'm what people call pansexual. I just usually say bisexual because it's easier.
Right.
People know that term. So yeah, I'm pansexual. I'm attracted to cooking equipment.
right?
Sorry, I know that's a
It-
horrible joke.
oh no, it's good. So pan and bi are basically the same thing, right?
Kinda. Pan is more everyone, whereas bi would be more just generally genetic male or female. I or cis male or
Got you.
female. I'm not.
Okay.
It's just easier to say bi. There's a lot of arguments over are they the same or not.
Right.
So
Okay.
um,
I've got you.
yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, here we are. Sorry, guys, I lost my flight.
No, you're good.
Just as many parents feel awkward about discussing where babies come from, some scientists seem reluctant to discuss even more fundamental questions. Where did life come from? RNA molecules,
Right.
uh, where amino acids, the building blocks of life,
Isn't that
formed
just a
it.
theory? I
Yeah,
think that's just
I
a
kind of know
theory.
this. I mean, I'm gonna cite it, even though I know it's pretty outdated.
Yeah.
But then again, name of creation doesn't use outdated material
Right?
of the Miller-Urey, which they showed that it is possible. And there's been other experiments that have been
Yeah.
done on the same lines in different environments. And guess what? It's the same result
Yep.
every time.
Yeah, I mean, there were some flaws with Miller-Urey here
Yeah,
and there, but the fact is they proved that it's possible
yeah,
to create amino acids like that in a similar environment. Sure, it
yeah,
wasn't exactly the same. It wasn't old Earth, but,
yeah,
it was similar enough that amino acids are,
yeah.
it is possible to form them like that. So,
And like I said, that's why I was saying, and it's kind of outdated, not the most accurate. But we've had
sure.
other ones that have done the same thing.
Right.
It's just
I
that's
still think
the
Miller-Urey
most important one.
is valid, even though
Yeah,
you like you're saying, yeah, it is a little bit outdated. I still think it counts in
yeah,
this case, though.
yeah. But there's been other ones that have had different atmosphere. It's just
Right,
usually a little outdated to use because we have other experiments.
right,
But it's the one everybody thinks of and knows.
yeah,
So yeah. Um, where did life come from? Receiving a credible answer to that question can have a profound effect on a person's outlook on life. So how did life begin? How? Where life came from? I know a lot of people, they don't give two shits about it. They don't.
right,
They could care less. I guarantee you, if you ask everybody here how important, how life, like here at K State, how important is that question? Where did life come from? I can guarantee you that ain't even going to make the top 10. It's probably going to be, how am I going to afford this? School's getting
yeah,
expensive. How am I doing that? How am I going to pass all my classes? Oh crap, either I got only 16 credit hours, but I don't want to take over 12. What do I do?
right. And not only that, but something else to think about is the fact that saying "I don't know" is an
Yeah,
acceptable answer. It's
exactly.
okay for us to say that. We don't have to have the answer to every question. They're saying, "Well, you don't know the answer," so and we do know the answer. Us being Jehovah's Witnesses, we
Yeah,
know God created the earth. We know God created people. But they don't know that. They don't know any more than we do, and that's okay.
yeah,
Accepting that we don't know is paramount.
yeah. And with me, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, my favorite answer is I don't know, because if I don't know something, then I have to go figure it out.
Right.
And it allows me to learn and expand my knowledge. And if I'm ever wrong on something, call me out on it. I'll admit I'm wrong right then and there.
Yeah.
You know?
That's an important bit too, is being able to admit when you're wrong about something.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you can show I'm wrong, I'll admit it right then and there. And
Right.
here's why. I would rather be proven wrong so I can be right than to be told than to keep going on thinking I'm right when I'm wrong.
Yep. That's something that I guess you could say many atheists, or at the very least you and I have over many Christians, is the
Yeah.
fact that we will admit when we're wrong. I actually put out an error correction video not too long ago, and it kind of addressed like
Yeah.
10 errors that I'd made over the past like year or something like that. I mean, it happens. We have
I
to be willing
yeah.
to accept there's a level of intellectual honesty
Yeah.
in that we have to strive for, or we're no better than Christians being dishonest about things.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at something in the side chat.
I
Somebody
know.
said, me and him, we have this long standing feud about the Ducks. hockey team, so he always saying Ducks suck, and he always proves wrong
Right.
in that. Nope, Ducks rock, and screw you, Reese. Remember, I'm the owner of the channel. I give mods and I take mods away. Be careful.
That's funny.
Just messing with you, Drees. You're cool. Although you are wrong on your hockey team. Sorry. It says, what do many scientists claim? Many who believe in evolution would tell you that billions of years ago, life began on the edge of an ancient tidal pool or deep in the ocean. Well, ocean, thermic ocean, geothermal vents in the ocean would be a very, very good place for them to form.
Yeah.
Heck, we could even go with panspermia because I think there's a meteor that was found with amino acids on it. I could be wrong on that, but I think I read something about that a while back.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was, it had something in it, and they hadn't identified exactly what it was, but it was definitely from Mars, and it had something in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah,
ALH
panspermia too is a valid
84001,
option.
I think.
But it's not little green aliens going, hey, here's life. No, that's not panspermia. Not even close.
Right. They're straw manning it to some
yeah.
extent. They're making light of it, acting like it's a ridiculous idea. They do that all the time.
Yeah, they feel that in some such locations, chemicals spontaneously assembled into bubble-like structures form complex molecules and began replicating.
There's your straw man again.
Yep. Overly simplified into a straw man. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yep.
It's like you're kind of there, but not quite, and it's enough to straw man it with it being, so oversimplified.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to make it sound ridiculous.
Yeah. So way oversimplified. I mean, it's a lot. You can explain it simply, but it needs a little more than that.
Yep.
And anyone who wants a good channel for that, Jackson Wheat. Go check him out if you haven't yet. Smart guy, biology major, LSU.
Interesting. I don't know that one. Although, have you heard of Stated Clearly before? You heard of that channel? Man, you should check that channel out. He's got a couple hundred thousand subscribers. Really interesting. Some of it's dry, but he talks about biology and stuff. Stated Clearly, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think I might have watched maybe one or two videos of his. But Jackson Wheat, I'll send you a link.
Send me one. Send me a link.
Yeah, he talks biology in that, and he's a biology major down in LSU, so he's a really, really smart guy.
Super interesting.
They believe that all life on Earth originated by accident from one or more of these simple original cells, and simple as in quotation mark. Now they are somewhat right there again, but still straw manning.
Yeah, they're straw manning. See, it's not that simple. Is the thing.
It's not even so much that as this accident. How are we defining accident? Are we by accident? Do we mean there wasn't a driving purpose? Then yeah, it was by accident.
Right.
That's it. But that doesn't mean that it's like, oh, we're all just an accident. I mean,
accident is not the appropriate word to use there. It does not fit there.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're meaning it by that, then yeah, it was an accident.
Right.
But they're gonna try and put it that way. Then say, oh, you just believe we're accident. No.
Right. Exactly. There were better words.
Your terminology. Then yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Other equally respected scientists who also support evolution disagree. They speculate that first cells, or at least the major components, arrived on Earth from outer space. Straw man incoming. Straw man incoming.
Right.
I already. How did I know they were going to go here? How did I know?
It gets to you, doesn't it?
This I have not read. I just kind of. I think I kind of skimmed through and I saw complexity in that, and I'm like, oh god.
Right.
This is going to take forever. I don't even know if we're going to get through one with how bad this is.
I know, man. I also have to go in a minute or two here.
Okay, if you got to go, just let me know and I'll try and finish it out on my own. It's
okay.
Although I'm kind of glad you're here to kind of keep me alive because
I know. Too bad that Not Jaw Witness didn't show up. I've talked to him a couple of times.
He's working. He's in upside down land.
Right.
From Australia. So he's out there.
Is he in Australia? Oh, okay.
He's in Aussie, what I heard? I call him my favorite Kiwi.
Right. Also, okay. You know what I heard is I heard that when you flush a toilet in Australia, the water comes out of the toilet and sprays all over the bathroom. That's what I heard happens when you
Wow.
flush on the other side of the world. So
Wow. So
yeah,
it's
they have to
like
wear
a
hazmat suits when they flush and everything. So
yeah. Well, I mean, they got drop bears. I mean, so I mean, you guys well, I mean, Australia's pretty shitty, so it doesn't
I
surprise
know,
me.
yeah. When we flush a toilet here, it comes out of somebody's toilet in Australia. That's what I heard. I don't know that for a fact.
I wonder if mine's connected to Natchez. I'll have to send him stuff if that's the
Right?
case. Oh god, we are. Is it bad that our jokes are more entertaining than this crap?
No,
Even
no.
though our jokes are
Shit.
horrible.
Shit.
Oh,
I
you
listened to
laugh
this
at my
stuff
joke.
growing up my whole life, man.
I'm
It's
happy you're
dry.
laughing at my joke because I know mine are horrible. So
Right? Mine too. Mine too.
hey, that's why we get along so well.
Right.
Um, where were we? Oh yeah. Why? Because despite their best efforts, scientists have been unable to prove life can spring from non-living molecules.
Scientists have, wait, okay, so it said scientists have been unable to
Unable
prove.
to prove that life can spring from non-living molecules.
Got it.
Amino acids are the building blocks of life. We understand this. They got trapped in some gel light. And again, I am oversimplifying as hell. This is
Right.
not my area of strong suit. So if I screw something up, please let me know.
Yeah.
Interrupt me, let me know. But basically got like stuck in some jelly like substance. I don't know what it was. And RNA was there, and then RNA was the first self-replicating molecule from I believe the amino acids actually formed the RNA, and then RNA later mutated into DNA. And I could easily be wrong in that. If I am, I am sorry. Again, biology is not my strong suit.
I believe that, of course, it's not my strong suit either, but as far
No.
as I know, amino acids group together to form proteins, and then DNA uses protein. Or no, I'm sorry, DNA uses amino acids to create proteins or something like that. I don't even remember now.
Yeah, but it had RNA first because RNA
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
replicating.
yeah,
Yeah, again, look up scientists, get in contact with your local biology department at your local
yeah.
university.
They can
They
give you
will be able to
information on
clarify
it.
this a hell of a lot better than me or TellTale can.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. Well,
So we
I got to
screwed up.
get out of here. I wish I could stick
Okay,
around
see
longer, but
ya.
I
Yeah,
appreciate you having me on, and hit me up, and maybe I'll come on again one of these days. Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be either probably be a Saturday on the only days that I really have open.
Okay.
'Cause
That's
I
fine.
my schedule is squirrely.
All right.
But yeah, if
Well,
you need help with projects, just let me know and I'll do my best to help out if you need them or I
all right.
can.
All right.
But
That sounds good. Well, stay in
yeah,
contact. I'll talk to you
all
later
right,
on.
all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, Telltale. Okay, so yeah, now you're just stuck with my ugly mug and horrible jokes. So we'll see how far we can keep this going. And again, thank you to Telltale very much for joining me. It was a real honor to have him back on. So yeah, back to this. In 2008, professor of biology Alexandra Meniz, and I screwed up the name, I'm sure, highlighted the dilemma. He stated that over the last 50 years, no empirical evidence supports the hypothesis of the spontaneous appearance of life on Earth from nothing but a molecular soup, and no significant uh, advance in scientific knowledge leads us in that direction. Well, that's why the further down we go in the fossil record, we get to more and more simpler life. Kind of get down to, and after that, you get into the more of the single cell stuff. Huh. Kind of poses a problem there that kind of shows that, and then we kind of understand how it formed. Um, so again, the um, not the I'm not the most knowledgeable on this, so yeah, I'm only doing this because I argue design, and I think I saw some design points. So hopefully we'll get into design and I can have some fun. But beyond that, I'm kind of a base knowledge set on evolution and biology. So forgive me if I mess something up. It says, "What is the evidence? What does the evidence reveal?" The answer to the question, "Where do babies come from?" is well documented and uncontroversial. Yeah, it's the stork, right? Right, everyone? It's the stork. Oh, no. Stork is just like God. Has just as much evidence. Um, so it goes, life always comes from pre-existing life. However, if we go back far enough in time, is it really possible that this fundamental law was broken? Could life really spontaneously spring from non-living chemicals? What are the chances that such an event could happen? Oh God. We're we're getting into odds. Do they really want to go there? Okay, put this in perspective. To know one person, just one person in the world, for me to just know that one person, there's a 1 in 70 in 7 billion chance of me knowing that person because there's 7 billion people in this world and I'm picking one person that I know. Just imagine the odds of knowing all the people I know, especially all the people who live all around the world. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Odds don't mean crap. Something's astronomical odds. Okay, it's rare, but life happened. We know this. It says researchers have learned that for a cell to survive, at least three types of complex molecules must work together: DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid; RNA, ribonucleic acid; and proteins. Again, me and TellTale covered how that kind of works. So, again, if we screwed up, we're sorry. We aren't biologists. Today, few scientists would assert that a complex living cell is suddenly formed by chance with a mix of innate inanimate chemicals. What through the probability what though is the probability that RNA or proteins could form by chance? Again, chance does not describe it unless you mean that just it happened. Then yeah, it would be by chance again if there's no guided process. But again, that's straw manning. And we know that they did because we understand how proteins formed and we understand how through that RNA and things like that. Again, contact your local university, talk to their biology department. They can explain it a lot better than I can. Yeah. See you, Telltale. And again, thank you for joining. I thought I had you as a moderator. Oh, now you are. um, it says many scientists feel that life could arise by chance because of an experiment first conducted in 1953. In that year, again, me and Telltale covered this, the Miller-Urey. Stanley L. Miller was able to produce amino acids, the chemical building blocks of proteins, by discharging electricity into a mixture of gases that was thought to represent the atmosphere of primitive Earth. Since the amino acids have also been found in a meteorite, again, do these findings mean that all basic building blocks of life could easily be produced by chance? Wait, hold on. Where's Yuri in that? Huh. I guess Yuri don't matter. Hmm. Only Miller does. Oh well. I think you're right there, Sewer Tates, on that. I'm not a statistician either, so again, I could be wrong, but that sounds about right. Um, yeah. It says some writers, says Robert Shapiro, professor of emeritus of chemistry at New York University, have presumed that all life's building blocks could be formed with ease in the Miller type experiments and were present in meteorites. This is not the case. Well, what do you mean? We've shown with different experiments we can create these, but also, again, we found amino acids and stuff in meteorites, which again come from space and not Earth. Kind of poses a problem that this little insignificant rock that's floating around an insignificant star is the only place that has life. Sorry, we kind of are insignificant in the grand scheme of the entire universe. Our sun is minuscule and not that impressive, really, when you look at other stars. So, yeah. I don't think we're getting back on panspermia. We kind of got past that. They might bring it up again. I don't know, Reese, because I haven't. This is my first read through of it. I kind of went, oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. That's about it. And I saw the word complexity, and I'm like, oh boy, I got to talk on this. Reese, I'm not even going to read that one or touch it. Consider the RNA molecule. It's constructed of smaller molecules called nucleotides. A nucleotide is a different molecule from an amino acid and is only slightly more complex. Shapiro says no nucleotides of any kind have been reported as products of spark discharge experiments or in studies of meteorites. Again, we're talking about amino acids, the building blocks that would go into that. Huh. Amazing how that works, ain't it? He further states that the probability of self-replicating RNA molecules randomly assembling to form a pool of chemical building blocks is so vanishingly small that it happens even once anywhere in the visible universe would count as a piece of exceptional good luck. Yeah. Sorry, nope. It's trying to find their citation or whatever, their footnote. I'm not seeing it. What about protein molecules? They can be made from as few as 50 or as many as several thousand amino acids bound together in a highly specific order. The average functional protein in a simple cell contains 200 amino acids. Again, they're big. So what? There's some big ass crystals out there, but no one had to design them. Even those cells, there are thousands of different types of proteins. The probability that just one protein containing 100 amino acids could ever randomly form on Earth has been calculated to be about one chance in a million billion. Okay? Odds are rare. So what? That doesn't mean a creator. Researcher Hubert P. Yockey, who supports the teaching of evolution, goes further. Oh boy, how come I have a feeling that this is going to be a quote mine? I have a feeling most of them were quote mine, so we'll see what they say. Roll. I've done it quite a bit while reading this, so which one are you referring to there, Reese? Pretty much, Surtace. That's pretty much how this first one can be. I might end up just going on to argument number 2. Might read their questions, see what they got after this a little bit. Researcher, yeah, he says, and again, quote mine incoming probably, it is impossible that the origin of life was proteins first. RNA is required to make proteins, yet proteins are involved in the production of RNA. What if, despite the extremely small odds, both proteins and RNA molecules did appear by chance in the same place at the same time? How likely would it be for them to cooperate to form a self-replicating, self-sustaining type life? The probability of this happening by chance, given random mixture of proteins, and mind you, he stopped after proteins first, so they're putting in that last bit on their own. So they're trying to make it sound like it would seem more like one quote, which they boo-booed. They didn't make a new paragraph after a quotation. Huh. The probability of this happening by chance, given a random mixture of proteins and RNA, seems astronomically low, says Dr. Carol Cleveland, a member of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Astrobiology Institute. Yet she continues, most researchers seem to assume that if they can make a sense of independent production of proteins and RNA under natural primordial conditions, the coordination will somehow take care of itself. Regarding those current theories of how these building blocks of life could have arisen by chance, she says, none of them have provided us with very satisfying story about how this happened. I'm going to guess and say Most of that is quote mined to fit their narrative. That's just my guess. But let's let's see what they have to say, shall we? Just more in their see, this is more like facts and questions. Let's see what their facts say. Fact. All scientific research indicates that life cannot spring from non-living matter. No one ever said it did. Question. What is the scientific basis for saying that the first cell sprang from non-living chemicals? We understand how RNA and abiogenesis happens, kind of. I mean, we still have some ideas that we're trying to hammer out, some wrinkles, but we have a pretty good grasp on it. Again, I'm not a microbiologist. I'm not an evolutionary biologist. I'm not a biologist of any kind. Again, talk to the university people. They can answer that question a little better than I can. Fact. Researchers have recreated in the laboratory the environmental conditions that they believe existed in Earth's history. In these experiments, few scientists manufactured some of the molecules found in living things. So if we did it, that kind of shows we don't need God. Naturally, they can form. Interesting on that. If the chemicals in the experiment represents Earth's early environment and the molecules produced representing the building blocks of life, whom or what does the scientist who performed the experiment represent? Begging the question. Begging the question. Does he or she represent blind chance or intelligent agent entity? Well, intelligent design doesn't exist. I mean, hell, look no further than our eye. Our eyes do massive compensation work so that way we can actually see. If we only saw what our eyes see and not what our brain compensated for, we wouldn't be able to see about half of what we actually see. That's why your eyes are very unreliable. Listen up, flat earthers. That's why your eyes don't count as what you see is evidence. Because it looks flat doesn't make it flat. Fact. Protein and RNA molecules must work together for a cell to survive. Scientists admit that it is highly unlikely for RNA formed by chance. Again, not by chance. It happened through how the proteins were. So, yeah, again, just lying. Yeah, exactly, sewer tapes. And Beej, I agree with you. I wouldn't mind having some octopus eyes either. They got some damn good ones. The odds against one protein forming by chance are astronomical. It's exceedingly improbable that RNA and proteins should form by chance in the same place at the same time and be able to work together. I don't think they actually did it that way. That's not how I'm pretty sure from what I understand. That's not how it works. And goes, what takes greater faith to believe that millions of intricately coordinated parts of a cell arose by chance, or to believe that the cells is the product of an intelligent mind? Yeah, I can easily say it's not intelligent at all. If there is a designer behind everything, then he's about as incompetent as they come. He would be blacklisted in any drafting firm or engineering firm because you can't do the kind of crap that he's done. RLN nerve or the LRN nerve. That one, that's a good example of it. The the sun going to envelop the earth. So yeah, just all kinds of crap that, just you can point to. I mean, heck, we got a ticking time bomb in all of us. The appendix. That makes sense to have. Oh, hey, Guyman. Long time no see. Yeah, and I'm glad. It goes, is any form of life really simple? Define simple. How are we going there? Your body is one of the most complex structures in the universe. It is made up of some 100 trillion tiny cells, bone cells, blood cells, brain cells, which I'm thinking the Jehovah Witnesses might be lacking. Um, to name a few. In fact, there are more than 200 different types of cells in your body. So what? Despite their amazing diversity in shape and function, your cells form an intricate, integrated network. The internet, with its millions of computers and high speed data cables, is clumsy in comparison. And that's why we just. Yes, it's intricate. Yes, it would be quote unquote complex, but that doesn't make it designed. Complexity does not equal design. And I know that's exactly where they're going. No human invention can compete with the technical brilliance evident in the most basic cells. How do cells that make up the human body come into existence? Through different things in evolution and allele changes? Yeah. What do many scientists claim? All living cells fall into two major categories, those with a nucleus and those without. Well, that's true. And you're right there, Mrs. Starkey. That's exactly what happened. Human, animal, and plant cells have a nucleus. Bacterial cells do not. Cells with a nucleus are called eukaryotic. Those without a nucleus are known as prokaryotic. Since prokaryotic cells are relatively less complex than eukaryotic cells, many believe that animal and plant cells must have evolved from bacterial cells. Well, I mean, there's also evidence to support that in the fossil record, so yeah, from what I understand, that's kind of where it happened. Oh my God. Shocking, I know. In fact, many teach that for millions of years, some simple prokaryotic cells swallowed other cells but did not digest them. Instead, the theory goes unintelligent nature figured out a way not only to make radical changes in the function of the ingested cells, but also keep the adapted cells inside the host cell when it replicated. So, yeah, kind of fail there. What does the Bible say? The Bible states that life on earth is not a product, is the product of an intelligent mind. And if you're referring to your guy, he's one of the most idiotic, incompetent, useless designers out there. So, yeah, you fail. Note the Bible's clear logic. Of course, every house is constructed by someone, but he that constructed all things is God. No, not not quite. You got to prove you God in order to claim him. I'm still waiting on proof. No evidence? I don't buy it. Sorry. That's how it works here. Another Bible passages say, "Oh, how many your works are, O Jehovah." Oh, great. I got to get stoned. If anyone's seen Life of Brian, you know exactly why. Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. Sorry. All of them in wisdom you have made. The earth is full of your productions. There are moving things without number, living creatures small as well as great. Okay, so what? There's life. So what? What does the evidence reveal? Advances in microbiology have made it possible to peer into the awe inspiring interior of the simplest living prokaryotic cells known. Notice how they said living, simplest living ones, meaning that they aren't what they were. We just kind of, they've evolved as well. Wow. Shocking. They aren't the same. Evolutionary scientists theorize that the first living cells must have looked something like these cells. Okay. What's your point? If the theory of evolution is true, it is, it should offer a plausible explanation of how the first simple cell formed by chance. On the other hand, if life was created, there should be evidence of ingenious design, even in the smallest of creatures. Well, then ain't it a good thing there ain't? Uh, why not take a tour of a prokaryotic cell? As you do, ask yourself whether such a cell could arise by chance. Again, no one says it it arose by chance, not in the way they're trying to paint it. Huh. Interesting. They're lying. And again, ingenious design. Now you're on my turf. You're on design. So, J Dubs, if you're arguing we're design, then your guy is responsible for every choking death that has ever happened. Because it's a design flaw in your God's design. Same with anyone else who wants to argue intelligent design. Every person who's died from cancer, your God's responsible for it. Simple. Your God put the programming into that cell to make it mutate and become cancerous. So yeah. uh Mrs. Snarky, I'm sorry, I don't control GI. That's your job. I mean, us women, we're supposed to control everyone. I mean, heck, Dr. Guyman's here to tell us that, us women who say we've ever been assaulted, we're just, we're just lying about it to get people in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, Guyman, that last video you did on me was just so wrong. I'll have to go through it later sometime and that. So, yeah. That's enough on the whole. Is any form of real life really simple? Again, define simple and how we're going to talk about it. Oh, goody, instructions, which they screw up again. Yeah. Yep, cancer is, and I agree. I'm not sure, Reese, if that one was um if that Violet Best work was in regards to what I said about Guyman or if it was to cancer and God causing it. So either way, if it's either one of those, I agree. 3, where do the instructions come from? Why do you look the way you do? What determines the color of your eyes? Your eyes, your hair, your skin. What about your height, your build, or your resemblance to one or both of your parents? What tells the end of your fingers to grow soft pads on one side and hard protective nails on the other? In Charles Darwin's day, the answers to such questions were shrouded in mystery. Darwin himself was fascinated by why traits are passed along from one generation to the next, but he knew little about the laws of genetic and even less about the mechanisms within the cell that govern heredity. But funny enough, it's evolution that we use today that um you know what, Guyman? You're in timeout. I don't want to deal with you today. And any other people, mods, if he shows up again, feel free to put him in timeout again. I don't want to deal with this crap. So, and what I was saying about that with the laws of heredity, he, Darwin didn't know about it. But here's the thing. We know about him now, and evolution fits very, very nicely with it. Yeah, I know it'd be just shocking. We um don't we didn't know things 155 years ago that we know now. It goes Now, however, biologists have spent decades studying human genetics and the detailed instructions that are embedded in the amazing molecule called DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Again, you've already expressed what DNA is. You don't need to reiterate it in parentheses again. You do it once, and then it's done for the rest of the time. God, do they not? I'm horrible at English and grammar, and I'm sitting here being able to correct them. And this is supposed to be, they're supposed to have millions of dollars that they're able to pay out to the courts, yet, uh, you know, yeah, whatever. These guys are idiots anyway, so it doesn't surprise me that they're stuck at grammar apparently too in English. Of course, the big question is, where did these instructions come from? Again, begging the question. What do many scientists claim? And I think I might just do a little bit on this one and then end it because I've been going for an hour already. So you guys know. Um, Many biologists and other scientists feel that DNA's coded instruction came about through undirected chance events that took place over the course of millions of years. They say that there is no evidence of design in the structures of this molecule, nor the information that it carries and transmits, nor the way it functions. No, there are scientists who believe that God kind of created the first cell and then from there evolution took over. So that would therefore ruin your whole argument. They believe it was intelligently designed. Exactly, Christy. Exactly. What does the Bible say? The Bible suggests that the formation of our different body parts and even the timing of their formation involves a figurative book that originates with God. A figurative, so it doesn't exist. Did they realize that's what they just said? I mean, I'm not good at English or grammar, but oh, but involves a figurative book that originates with God. So they just admitted the Bible wasn't real. Holy crap! I wish I would have read that part when I was talking with them. Their own publication calls the Bible fake. He calls it fake and imaginary. Oh, that's rich. That is rich. Too bad Telltale wasn't here to hear that bit. Notice how King David was inspired to describe matters, saying of God, "Your eyes saw even the embryo of me." Wrong. The Bible does not mention embryo. Nowhere. In your book, all his parts were drawn in writing, as regards to the days when they were formed, and there was not yet one among them. Yeah, I would really love to know how they knew about embryos when they didn't. There is no such word in the Bible as embryos. You guys are lying and making up shit. Uh, yeah. Just saw Reese's comments about in Mormons. It made me think of the Book of Mormon about you're making things up again. The song from there from the Book of Mormon. So yeah. What does the evidence reveal? If evolution is true, then it should seem at least reasonably possible that DNA could have come about by means of a series of chance events. If the Bible is true, the DNA should provide strong evidence that it is the product of an orderly, intelligent mind. That's why we have mutations. Yeah, sorry, no designer would ever allow mutations in their design. It doesn't work. Because remember, mistakes cost lives in design work. Literally. Again, if you ever doubt that, look at the Kansas City Skywalk crash. I believe over 100 people died in that crash. And you want to know something interesting about it? If I remember correctly, it all came down to thread strength on the screws. They weren't the right thread strength, therefore, it was a mistake and it cost people their lives. I'll agree with you there, Reese. The ancient Greek gods, they were pretty cool. They were interesting. Um, when considered in the simplest of terms, the subject of DNA is quite understandable and fascinating. So let us take another trip inside the cell. Yeah. This time, though, we will visit a human cell. Imagine that you're going in a museum designed to teach you about how a cell works. And that would actually be a pretty cool museum. I'm not going to lie. That would be interesting. Someone get on that, please. That I lost. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I'm sorry you lost her. Hopefully she can come back. And see what the J Dubs are and actually what they believe and how they hurt people. But yeah, as I said, that would be a cool museum to go see. So I am sorry about that, Christy. I really am. But yeah, someone needs to work on that. Make a museum about and teach how the cell works. That would actually be really cool. And somehow make it interactive too. That would be amazing. That would be a great place to take kids on field trips. And no, I'm not stalling at all. I'm just trying to do my best Russian imitation. The whole museum is a model of a typical human cell, but magnified some 13 million times. It's the size of a giant sports arena, the kind that can seat an audience of about 70,000 people. Again, I would say that would be a damn cool thing to see. I don't know, chat. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing something like that. If someone should do it. Um, and on that giant museum of a human self, that if you think that would be one heck of a um of a museum that someone should build. Just I'm wanting your thoughts in the chat. One for yes, two for no. Just tell me what you think. You enter the museum, stare awestruck at this wondrous place full of strange forms and structures. Near the center of the cell stands the nucleus, a sphere about 20 stories tall. You make your way there. Oh god, are they gonna call that if this museum was ever made? I'm gonna make a guess again. I have not read this, so I'm guessing here that they are trying to make it that because we built this museum, it shows how a cell was designed or whatever. Mrs. Snarky, I'm going to go with 42 as the answer for one. I'm going to raise that to 0 power. You go through a door in the nucleus outer skin or membrane and look around you. Dominating this chamber are 46 chromosomes arranged in identical pairs. They vary in height, but the pair nearest you is about 12 stories tall. One, each chromosome has pinched place near the middle, so it looks a bit like a link sausage, but it's very thick and massive. But it is as thick as a massive tree trunk. Wording, people, wording. You're talking about sausages and thickness. I'm. Oh God, I am trying so hard to stay mature here. Okay, I am trying, but you know what? I mean, yeah, oh. Oh. Oh God, you know what I think? I've been on for about 69 minutes and we're talking about this. Perfect timing. I just noticed that because we started about 6:35 and it's 7:44 right now. That's 69 minutes. yeah, Mrs. Snarky. Yes, sweet thick sausage of the Lord. Yes. And yes, I am immature enough to point out that I've been live for 69 minutes while we're talking about sausage. I'm very mature. About as mature as a middle schooler, with a porno magazine. Hey, goodbye monetization. Oh wait, I don't have enough subscribers to monetize. Okay, yeah. You see a variety of bands running across the model chromosome. As you draw closer, you see that each horizontal band is divided by vertical lines. Between those are shorter horizontal lines. Are they stacks of books? No, they are the outer edges of loops packed tightly in columns. You pull at one of them and it comes free. Well, that wouldn't be good. Hey, oh, hey, Nacha. No, you're fine, Nacha. You're fine. You're only missing my really, really bad, dirty jokes and dirty mind. So you're not missing much. Wait, hold on. Wait, yeah, you wouldn't be missing much if you were missing anything with my mind because no one's there. It's all empty. And it comes free. You're amazed to see that the loop is composed of smaller coils. Also, neatly arranged within those coils is the main feature of all this, something resembling a long rope. What is it? The structure of an amazing molecule. Let us simply call this part of the molecule of the model chromosome a rope. It is about an inch thick and is uh, looped tightly around spools, which help form the coils within coils. These coils are attached to a kind of scaffold that holds them in place. A sign on the display explains that the rope is packed very efficiently. It's jam packed in somewhere. It doesn't have to be efficiently. Um, if you were to pull the rope from each of these model chromosomes and lay it all out from end to end, it would stretch about halfway around the Earth. Okay, so there's a lot jam packed in one area. Okay. One science book calls this efficiency packaging an extraordinary feat of engineering. Which one? I like to talk to them. Or maybe they were just using it as a metaphor. That's happened too. Although science books really don't have time or place for metaphors. So again, I like to know which science book that is so I can talk to the author or whoever said it. One science book calls this efficient packaging system. Oh yeah. Does the suggestion that there was no engineer behind this feat sound credible to you? Well, considering it's a building and we know how buildings are built, no. We could show that that was man-made. So no, sorry. You're trying to equate two different things. Doesn't work. False equivocation, people. If this museum had a huge store with millions of items for sale and they were all so tidily arranged that you could easily find any item you need, would you assume that no one had organized the place? Of course not. But such order would be a simple feat by comparison. No, not quite. See, you're comparing things we know humans do to natural processes. You can't compare the two, they don't work. Uh, I'm just going to finish this little section, read the questions and facts, and then I'm probably going to, and I'm just going to skip the other part in here because there's a lot in here and it's taking forever to do. Yeah, exactly, sewer tapes. So, like Kent Hovind, oh, a second grade science book says this, even though the science book is from the 70s. Yeah. Then again, we do owe Kent Hovind the things for that. We now know that pine trees and elephants are the only two kinds out there. In the museum display, a sign invites you to take a length of this rope in your hands for a closer look. As you run it between your fingers, you see that this is no ordinary rope. It is composed of two strands twisted around each other. The strands are connected by tiny bars, evenly spaced. The rope looks like a ladder that has been twisted until it resembles a spiral staircase. Then it hits you. You are holding a model of the DNA molecule, one of the great mysteries of life. Oh god, are they going with the whole freaking Can't Hovind cut a ladder down the middle and twist it and put it together with another ladder and twist it or whatever that, or however that bullshit claim goes. A single DNA molecule tightly packed, aged with its spools, tightly packaged with its spools and scaffold makes up a chromosome. The rungs of the ladder are known as base pairs. What do they do? What is all this for? A display sign offers a simplified explanation, and well, we aren't going to get into that. Jeez, this is a long one. I'm not going through all of this. I'm just, like I said, I'm only doing this for a laugh, so. Okay, here we are. The facts and questions part. Yeah, because that's all I would have to go through. All those nice little pages. I ain't doing it. It goes fact. DNA is packaged within the chromosome in a matter so efficient that it has been called a feat of engineering. Again, who said that? Was it someone using that language as a comparative so they could kind of get an idea of what they were talking about? My guess would be it was that to make it kind of like we make a comparison between a computer code and DNA code, so that way it's at least something that we can understand and see and make a semi comparison to. So that way we have an idea of maybe how it works and maybe describe how it works, but they aren't even remotely related or close. So yeah, that would be my guess on what he was talking about, or whoever was talking about. Question: how could such order and organization arise by undirected chance events? Um, there is an order. Far from it. So no, there is an organization. Far from it. Again. Um, DNA's capacity to store information still has no equal in today's computer age. Uh, I'm gonna have to disagree on that. We can actually, I believe, if I remember from something I read a while back, it's been a while. They can actually store DNA like coded on like a CD. Yeah, quite interesting stuff. If human computer technicians cannot achieve such results, how could mindless matter do so on its own? Do you know how long human, even if I give a yak 6,000 years, do you know how long computers have been around? Yeah. Sorry, it doesn't work. Um, fact, DNA contains all the instructions needed to build a unique human body and maintain it throughout life. Yeah, and that's why crap goes downhill quickly, why people's hair color changes, people's eye color can change. Oh yeah, due to mutations. Amazing how that works, ain't it? How can such a writing come about without a writer, such program without a programmer? Again, writing and programming has shit all to do with DNA. It doesn't work. For DNA to work, it has to be copied, read and proofread by a swarm of complex molecular machines called enzymes. Wrong, they aren't machines. Which must work together with precision and split second timing. Yeah, and then if you don't, you get mutations, random, whatever. That happens. It happens. So, yeah, your fact about it having molecular machines, wrong. Question: do you believe that highly complex, highly reliable machinery can come about by chance without solid proof? Would such a belief amount to blind faith? No, because we understand how it works. And again, you're talking about machinery. We aren't machines. We're biological organisms. So you kind of fail there, J Dubs. Laughably, I might add. So J-Dubs, thank you for all the laughs. I had a lot of fun. And Reese, you're actually will be fine because I'm getting ready to end this. I might want to add that Nadine, I just got to alert on my computer. That's what the ding was if it picked it up. Is now live with her craft channel. So please go check out Creations by Nadine here on YouTube. Go watch her live stream as she is live currently right now. So thank you everybody for watching. I think that's all I got. So remember, this is Brooke Aurelia McCormick, here to remind you to always question with boldness. Thanks for watching.